Five, four, three, two, one.
I'm from a place where the girls are always looking pretty. You might have heard of us, we call it Shy City. We build champions here who define gritty. We don't do excuses, we don't do pity. Rose is coming back stronger, that's a guarantee. Cutler's coming back too, he's beastly. Throwing it to Marshall, the title's ours easily. Blackhawks are winning titles, trophy looking massive. Don't forget about the Cubs, Sox, Crosstown Classic. With so much greatness, we gotta show bravado. You got your boys Ambro and Mike Mercado.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Friday edition of the Chicago Beat. I am Mike Mercado, as always, with my producer, secret producer, man. We are here in the beautiful ICB Lombard Studios. We have so much to get into today, guys. You can follow us everywhere in the universe. We're on Twitter, at The Chicago Beat. We're on Facebook, at The Chicago Beat. And, of course, the new and improved, beautiful, thechicagobeat.yolasite.com. The Blackhawks with a huge win over the Columbus Blue Jackets in a shootout. So many nasty, sick goals. The Bulls play tonight against Golden State. A lot of Derrick Rose comments and questions have came up. And, of course, the Bears, with so many awesome moves over the last few days, have taken a step back. And, of course, we've been teasing it for the longest, but we have a secret surprise at the end of the Chicago Beat. All that and so much more on the one and only award-winning, minus the award, for now, the Chicago Beat.
And when I've lived out my days until the very end, I hope they find me in my home, a guitar in my hands. I hope they find me in my home with my guitar in my hands. Whoa, whoa.
The Chicago Beat is delivered by In-Flight Express. Wanting to get your shipping needs done fast and quick? Visit inflightexpress.com. So last night, Patrick Kane, in a 2-1 shootout win, had the most sickest move I've ever seen in hockey. But my problem with all that is the shootout destroys the NHL overtime and the NHL game. Okay, because last night you had a very defensive-minded, kind of sloppy game between two quote-unquote divisional rivals that ends at the end of the season. Obviously, if you visit the Chicago Beat Facebook page or the website, you'll see the new realignments that Columbus has moved to the Eastern Conference. But the Blackhawks have taken away 4 games in this season series. I was there about 2 weeks ago at the United Center where Chicago won 1-0. And let me tell you something right now. Columbus's goalie, Sergei Bravsky, I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but my lord, is that one sick goalie. The guy is on his head all the time. I'm sitting here watching this game and some of these one-timers, and this guy's making it look easy. I mean, the guy is a beast. Columbus has a goalie now. And as we know in the NHL, all it takes is to get in the playoffs and to have a hot goalie. That's dangerous. And for all intents and purposes, Chicago has 2 hot goalies. Corey Crawford struggles a few days ago, and look at him now. Gives up 1 goal. Doesn't give up an overtime goal. A shootout goal. So there's a lot to go into with this Blackhawks win. But beyond all the cool moves by Taves and Kane in the shootout and the great goalie from Bravsky, how about the fact that this team answered the bell? And I guess it's kind of hard to say that when a team has gone 21-0-3 to start off the streak and then loses 2 straight. That's it, though. You have a 24-point streak, 24 consecutive games with a point, okay? And then you lose 2 straight games. You get smoked out of a building in Colorado, and then you come back against Edmonton, but you give up 6 goals. I mean, that's, you got smacked around in that game, too. Defense was being questioned a little bit. Injuries were being questioned a little bit. Your goalkeeper was being questioned a little bit. And then, for the first time all season, they had to answer a question. Could they bounce back? Because we know in sports you're going to lose. You're going to lose in sports. Even though it didn't look like this team was going to lose for a long time, you're going to lose. You're going to lose bad. You're going to lose close. But you got to be able to answer the challenge. And that's what this was. This was a challenge for the Blackhawks. All the pressure of the NHL is on this team. Maybe not so much anymore that the streak is over, but a lot of pressure is on this team. They are the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. They are. The only team close to them, at least in the Western Conference, is the Anaheim Ducks. And they would be the story in the NHL if it wasn't for the Blackhawks. But that's the point, is the Blackhawks are on a different level right now. So they had to win this game. It wasn't the Blackhawks may not have a must-win until the playoffs. Even if that meant they dropped all these games, they finished in the 8th seed in the Western Conference, they don't need a must-win. This was kind of close to a must-win, though. You had to answer the question of losing. Could you bounce back from it? Could your goalkeepers come back and get back on their head? Could Patrick Kane, who right now is the MVP of the NHL, can he come back and get on a scoring tear again? Because the guy is one of the lead point gainers in the NHL right now. Jonathan Toews, you're seeing good things from him. Patrick Sharp's injury, I think, has really done something to this depth of these lines. I mean, everybody has to move up a line. The lines are not as strong as you think they would be, let's say, when this streak was going on. So there's a lot that this Blackhawks team is still going through right now when it comes to injuries, when it comes to trying to figure things out. As nice as it is to have two very good goalies, you still have two goalies. That's like the adage, if you have two QBs, you have no QBs. Columbus has their goalie. They know who their goalie is. They're going to know who their goalie is. Do you know who the goalie is of the Blackhawks? You're going to go Crawford, the young stud, or are you going to go with Emery, the wily veteran? Both guys are having amazing seasons. And that's what it all comes back to, answering the bell, answering the challenge. This Chicago Blackhawks team is not perfect. It had an amazing run, but they know that the ultimate goal is a Stanley Cup. They know that they're going to have to answer each and every question thrown at them when it comes to the playoffs in every single round, when it comes to any type of losing streak that they need to stop. They're the team in the NHL right now who has not only the most pressure in it, but also has the most questions to it. Are they for real? And like I said on Wednesday on our special edition of the Chicago Beat, this is a championship team. A lot of players from the Stanley Cup championship team are on this team. Not everybody, but the core is on this team. And then you got guys like Kruger and Aduya and Saad and Shaw who are stepping up and are making your team that much deeper that this team did not have before it won the Stanley Cup. That is the only comparison between the 2010 team and the 2013 team. Both teams are deep. Both teams have guys who are scoring, who are getting in front of pucks, and are playing hard defense. They're protecting their side of the ice. All of that is the same. It's not the same team. There's similarities to it. The difference is that 2010 team did not have to answer the questions that this one does. Are they for real? In my opinion, they're the best team in the NHL right now. But as we know, in the NHL, anything can happen in the playoffs. The Blackhawks get back on the ice against Dallas on Saturday, another division rival that stays the same with the realignment. So that should be Secret Produce Man. Make sure you check that up. And Secret Produce Man is going to go on the ChicagoBeat.yolasite.com or on our Twitter page, our Facebook page at the Chicago Beat, and put up the new realignment for the NHL so you guys could take a look at that. But it's a good time in the Madhouse of Madison right now. Good time. I think we've answered one question, that this team will stand up to pressure and will answer the bell when it comes to proving itself in the NHL. Now, the same can't be said about the other team on the Madhouse in Madison. We talk about the Bulls next here on the Chicago Beat.
You hid your skeletons when I had shown you mine. You woke the devil that I thought you'd left behind. I saw the evidence, the crimson soaking through. 10,000 promises, 10,000 ways to lose.
With spring around the corner, guys, are you looking for a new career path, trying to do something different with your life? Visit beonair.com. That's the Illinois Center for Broadcasting, or dial 630-916-1700. Everybody here who listens to the Chicago Beat knows I'm a graduate from the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. It is by far the best school that you can go to if you're interested in the world of radio, television, if you're into entertainment, sports, gossip, traffic, weather, news. It doesn't matter. If you love being in front of the camera, behind the mic, working with the technology, visit beonair.com or dial 630-916-1700 and set up a tour today. We have two beautiful campuses, one in Lombard in the suburbs and one on Chicago. That's the Illinois Center for Broadcasting, beonair.com. So the Bulls played the Golden State Warriors tonight in Oakland. And the rumor now here in Chicago is Tom Thibodeau, with reporters, says Derek is unlikely to play tonight. Now this is what the Derrick Rose saga has become. The whole Bulls season has become. It's little quotes, reading in between the lines. I know I'm sick of it. I know you're sick of it. I know you're sick of it because I hear it on Twitter, on Facebook, at the Chicago Beat, that it does not matter. This team is not going to win a championship. This team is not good enough. He's not healthy. Don't rush him. That is not the point anymore. The point is, tell us what's going to happen. Is he going to play or isn't he going to play? You cannot tell me that this does not matter, that this does not affect the team. It has to. It has to affect the team. Just think about your everyday life. If your best employee isn't coming in, you know you're going to have to pick up the slack. You know you're going to have to do everything that they do on top of your job. That's what this Bulls team is doing. Luol Deng has been struggling not only because of injury, but because he can't set his own shot up. He's a total system player when it comes to the offensive side. Joakim Noah doesn't care because he's a hustle guy. He's going to get his rebounds. He's going to be under the basket. That's what he does. Luol Deng needs somebody to set him up. Nate Robinson sure as hell isn't doing that. Kirk Heinrich is the glass man. He's not. Nobody knows how long he's going to be healthy, when he's going to come back. Marcus Teague is an 18-year-old, a kid playing amongst men. You're seeing that he is the total answer of why kids should stay in school instead of going to the NBA. You don't have Taj Gibson. Rip Hamilton has been hurt since he signed him. And then that's not including that the injuries you have within your lineup. So all that and all we're concentrating is on unlikely. When Derek returns. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. These are all things that they're saying. How does that help anybody? Who are you trying to shield him from? Is it Derek? Is Derek just not ready to come back, so the Bulls are taking the bullet for him? Do the Bulls not want him back and Derek's taking the bullet for the Bulls? I think that's the problem with this whole situation, and I think you have seen that, or you've at least heard it when you listen to the podcast, or you visit the website, or you listen to or you read the articles. I'm not questioning his injury. I'm questioning the motives of whoever's running this whole debacle right now. What is the true goal of Derek and the Bulls? Does Derek want to come back this season? Do the Bulls want him back this season? What's the answer? What's the answer? I don't like having dead space on my podcast, but I don't know what the answer is. I'm trying to figure out. I'm talking to guys in the business who are way deeper in it than me. They don't know the answers. Everything is speculation. Everything. And that's the problem, especially in this large market with such diehard fans that you're not giving anybody any answers. Now, an interesting point is if you look at Reggie Rose when he said his thing about the Bulls, don't put the talent around him, and they don't know if Derek's going to come back. The team has struggled since then. The team has been struggling, though. The team has, because they have had a life preserver. They've had this idea that they do was stay afloat, and their superhero, their Red Knight, their Batman was going to come back and save them. Who's going to save Batman when he needs saving, though? Who's helping Derrick Rose? Who has Derek's best interest in mind? He is an entire family's entity. He's an entire organization's entity. He's an entire city's hope when it comes to sports. In a city that is corrupted with crime, all that this city has is sports and its culture. And you're taking away most of it by not letting Chicago's own talk to the media, talking to his fans, letting us in. If Derrick Rose first of all, Adidas has been the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for, has hurt him the most when it comes to this. The return. Hashtag the return. I've been guilty of it. But to tell me that hasn't put pressure on Derek to come back this season, had the return never happened. Would any of us be questioning had he not played this season? I think that's the most frustrating part of this whole thing, is the frustration of it. That nobody knows what the hell is going on. Nobody knows. You know, we could say it's all mental now, but we don't know. We could say none of it's physical. We don't know. We just don't know. And I hate talking about it to you guys because you guys are so loyal to the Chicago Beat and to me and to Secret Producer Man and everything we do, but I don't have the answers for you guys. I don't. I can only tell you what I see at this point. And what I see at this point is nobody knows what the hell they're doing. I still think he's coming back on the 18th. I said about 2 months ago that this trip right here was going to help him ease into it. Maybe today against Golden State, I thought he was going to come off the bench. He would be coming off the bench on Monday against Denver. I don't know if that's true. Some people will tell you he's coming back on Monday. I still think he'll be back on Monday. There's no guarantee, though. I think that's and that's where all this thing that I'm spewing to you guys, every edition of the Chicago Beat, every article I've written about Derrick Rose, all comes back to, is he ready? And if he's not, when will they tell us he's not ready? Somebody needs to give us some answers. If not for the team's sake, for the fans' sake, just for Derrick's sake, give us some answers. And we got some more bad news for Chicago fans, but this time on the lakefront. A Bear signs with a different team. Find out next here on the Chicago Beat. Please follow the show, everybody. We're on Twitter at The Chicago Beat. We're on Facebook, The Chicago Beat. And, of course, the beautiful TheChicagoBeat.yolasite.com. Guys, if you want to talk, interact, do whatever it is you guys want to do with us, visit those websites, and we have a link for you. So, Nick Roach, the guy who used to cover for Brian Urlacher last season, is now an Oakland Raider. So what does that mean for the Bears, though? Does that mean Brian Urlacher is going to be a Bear? Rumor has it around the sources say that Urlacher has been talking to Minnesota. A lot of people think that's just Brian trying to make the Bears more interested in it. But, I mean, that could go either way. That really could go either way. I think Brian wants to be a Bear. I think he just wants to play, though. And if you're the Bears, it makes you really think, what's important now, though? Because they're letting a lot of defensive players go. We've seen the league become an offensive-minded league, but it's weird in Chicago. I think that's going to be the toughest part. Chicagoans don't like change. People in general don't like change. But Chicagoans aren't the most fond when it comes to a middle linebacker who has been playing in Soldier Field for over a decade, an iconic number like 54, to be let go while they're bringing in tight ends, linemen, wide receivers, running backs. But that's the league. That is the league. The league today is an offensive-minded league. And if by not bringing Brian Urlacher means the Bears are one step closer to having a prolific offense that would eventually lead them to a Super Bowl, I'm all for it. Because even though the two Super Bowl teams were quote-unquote defensive-minded teams, look at the score. Look at the score. So interesting news, though. Of course, we're going to keep you posted here on the Chicago Beat on Brian Urlacher and other Bears news. We're on Twitter at mmercado2333. We're on Facebook, The Chicago Beat. If you want to follow The Chicago Beat podcast directly, we're on Twitter at The Chicago Beat. We're everywhere in the interweb, guys. Oh, boy, Secret Producer, man. It's Friday, huh? You can feel it. We wrap up shop next here on The Chicago Beat. I hope all of you have a beautiful, awesome, safe St. Patrick's Day weekend. Guys, I know if you're listening to the show, a lot of you guys are my friends. Don't party too hard, okay? Just enjoy it. Have fun, guys. And, of course, the big news that we've been trying to get out. We've been working a lot of things around, but since it's St. Patrick's Day weekend, we might as well give you guys a little bit of a gift before you go on and forget everything that we're going to tell you today. The Chicago Beat will now be aired Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So this past Wednesday was the first time that we will be on other than Friday. So don't forget, The Chicago Beat. You can find us at Twitter at The Chicago Beat. You can find us on Facebook at The Chicago Beat. Of course, the beautiful, awesome website, TheChicagoBeat.yolasite.com. Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, guys. Me and Secret Producer Man come to you. For everybody here at the ICB Lombard Beautiful Studios, for Secret Producer Man, for everybody on Twitter, for everybody on Facebook who has helped put this show together, my name is Mike Mercado. As always, have a safe and wonderful weekend. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day, guys. I will see you Monday only on The Chicago Beat. Later, guys.